1999 in Japan, the Generation 2 Pokémon series games Gold and Silver was released for the first time. With the release of Gold and Silver, Pokémon introduced something that would be one of the most fan-favorite features of all time in Pokémon, and the feature? Shiny Pokémon. Maybe they knew at the time, but I would guess they didn't know just how much something as simple as a super rare palette swap would add to the games. Adding this feature would years later give so much depth and make the Pokémon games infinitely replayable. Without exaggerating, Shiny Pokémon was a huge success. In fact, so much of a success that people years later would literally spend countless hours, days, weeks, months, and even years looking for these rare creatures. People have been obsessing over shiny Pokémon for so long now that when a new Pokémon game is released, you have an entire community with thousands of people all asking the same question: which Pokémon are shiny locked? Can I hunt the starters maybe? Instead of playing through the new game upon release, thousands of people instead save in front of a briefcase, spending days, weeks, months trying to start off a new save file with a shiny Pokémon instead of playing through the actual game. And for good reason too. Compare these two people-ups and imagine how much more fun I would have playing through my shiny Piplup compared to this one. I mean, look at that thing. I recently made a video called "Is this the rarest shiny Pokemon of all time?" In this video, I talked about how there are shiny Pokemon out there that never has been found. By saying that and looking at my comment section, I realized something. I now had a new video to make, which makes me now very happy to present to you guys shiny Pokemon that never has been found. This is my shiny Metagross that I obtained in my Japanese copy of Ruby. Metagross has one thing in common with all of my other shiny Pokemon I found in Generation 3. They all has been found by multiple people. But if we stop for a minute and take a look at my shiny Weezing here, before he became a shiny Weezing, he was obviously a shiny Coughing. And as you can see by the Met location, he was found in the Pokemon Mansion. Now, if I'd say there is a 1% chance of obtaining Coughing in a different location in these games, do you think someone would rather try to find this shiny Coughing in the Pokemon Mansion, or do you think somebody would go for the 1% shiny Coughing? Probably the Pokemon Mansion, right? And for that reason, the 1% shiny Coughing in the other location has never ever been found. My Coughing example demonstrates the reason why there are so many shiny Pokemon out there that never has been found. It's 2023 and people have been shiny hunting for years now, so taking a look at all the different Pokemon species there is, I would assume every different species by this point has been found. But shiny hunters are stupid. We love to torture ourselves by taking on insane challenges, and therefore there are multiple 1% shiny Pokemon encounters that people have found by once again spending countless hours of effort. But this 1% shiny Coughing, from what we know of, has never been found. And guess where it is? Surely in some location similar to the Pokemon Mansion, right? Oh wait, I know. It must be a cave of some sort. No. You find this 1% Coughing by surfing, specifically in Celadon City. In this little water pile right here, next to the casino, kind of fitting in my opinion, there's a casino there for shiny hunting video by the way. Yes, it doesn't make any sense, you find the Coughing in the water. At least the Coughing levitates, so that adds like a little bit of logic, I guess. Then again, same goes for this shiny Hoppip I found last year, which is a grass type in the water. Also pretty cool. Not as cool as the 1% shiny Coughing though, which never has been found by anybody. Please hunt it. And since we are on the topic of Coughing and Weezing, let me introduce you to a similar situation, but this time in Pokemon Crystal version. In Pokemon Crystal, there is a 1% shiny Weezing spawn. This 1% shiny Weezing has never been found by anybody. The location of it is not in the water though, but instead in the burned tower. Encounters in here are not the fastest in Gen 2, but if you actually would be the first person in the world to find this 1% Weezing, and having the luxury of being blessed by the amazing Gen 2 shiny sparkles, please let me know, because that would honestly be one of the most insane finds in the shiny hunting community that ever has been seen. This is footage from my friend Milos. He found a shiny Jirachi last year through the Pokémon Colosseum bonus disc. A very, very cool shiny to have. A very rare shiny to have that not too many people in the world can say they own. This Jirachi has a 1 in 7k roundabout to be shiny when soft resetting for it, but there is actually a way to get a full odds 1 in 8k shiny Jirachi not having the OT being Wishmaker, and that way of hunting it is insane. I touched this topic in my last video. You have to play through the entire game to have one chance of the Jirachi being shiny. Stupid. And also pretty interesting. For this reason, once again, from what we know of, this way of hunting Jirachi has never been done. Nobody owns this one. I'm really hoping to see somebody obtain this one day, honestly. Anyway, let's move on. Do you guys remember from the start of the video when I said shiny Pokemon was released in Gen 2? You do? Cool, because you can actually find shiny Pokemon in Gen 1. I mean, they don't sparkle or anything, but they sure are obtainable. How, you might ask? Well, normally when you shiny hunt, you like to check for certain cues to find your shiny Pokemon. In the older gens, it used to be the sound and the visual cues, such as sparkles. Then in Pokemon Legends Arceus, everything changed, where you basically just fly around, run around, swim around, and then in Generation 1, there are no sparkles nor sounds, not even a palette swap. So to get shiny Pokemon in Gen 1, you need to look for certain stats of your Pokemon, which determines the shiny value.
25.
It's a shiny Charmander! It's a shiny Charmander!
To then have that Pokemon not being shiny just yet, or I mean, technically it is, and then in Gen 2, just like magic, your Pokemon is now shiny from being normal, well, normal. This way of shiny hunting is super obscure, and for that reason there are so many shinies in Gen 1 that obviously never has been found. And to add even more crazy to this, doing some good old glitching, you can actually find Gen 2 shiny Pokemon in Gen 1. Insane. In Pokémon Platinum version, after beating the game, you get to travel to one of my favorite places in Sinnoh. This place is so good for shiny hunting, because up here there are so many cool shinies to obtain, such as a wild Camerupt for example. One really cool thing about this area is that in this little pond right here, you can fish for Magikarp. Yeah, wait, it gets better, trust me. Not just any Magikarp. In this pond, there is a possibility to find a level 1 shiny Magikarp. And not only that, a level 100 shiny Magikarp. How insane would it be just standing here, fishing, and then splash, a wild shiny level 100 Magikarp just appeared. These level 1 and 100 shiny Magikarp has never ever been found. Obviously, there are so many different carps here with different levels, and there are more of these that hasn't ever been gotten, but in my eyes the coolest of them are these two, the level 100 and the level 1 shiny Magikarp. Happy hunting! Oh, and by the way, I actually found a shiny Magikarp in one reset last year on a train ride. Thought I shared that as a fun side note. Weird flex, good sir, but okay. Going from Magikarp, it's time to talk about the shiny Gyarados in the Lake of Rage that nobody in the world has ever found. No, I'm actually serious. No one has found this one. No, I'm not talking about that one. Obviously, why would I talk about that one? Everybody has found that one. I'm talking about the level 10 shiny Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. An under-leveled shiny Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. When I heard about this, I was so excited, going from one of the most common shiny Pokemon in existence that everybody on planet Earth has obtained, even my grandmother. Do you know what a Pokemon is?
I'm not sure about that.
To another shiny Gyarados, in the Lake of Rage that nobody has. Insane. When I found my shiny Gyarados 2 years ago in Gen 3, I thought I would never ever hunt for a Gyarados again, since it literally is free in Gen 4 and I now have it in Gen 3. Now knowing about this under-leveled level 10 one in the Lake of Rage, I might have to hunt it. In Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, specifically in Violet City, there is a way to get a gift egg at any stage of the game. By entering the Pokemon Center and talking to this NPC here, depending on the password you give him, he will give you an egg containing either Mareep, Wooper or Slugma. This way of shiny hunting one of these 3 Pokemon has never ever been done. Or I mean, I'm sure people have tried it, but I've never seen anybody actually obtain it. Actually thinking about it, maybe somebody has, please tell me in the comments. Maybe somebody watching this now would ask me, why would you hunt one of these when you can just do a normal grass encounter for them, which makes the shiny hunt way faster than giving a password to then hatch an egg? The answer to that question goes to say for almost every shiny Pokemon I've included in this video. How many shiny Koffings you think people have found out there? A lot, right? And then, how many people do you think has a shiny Koffing with the Met location being Celadon City? Nobody in the entire world has that. Moving on. In Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green version, after beating the Elite Four, you get to continue your quest on the Sevi Islands. When you finally get access to the last islands, you also get access to shiny hunt Pokemon no one has ever found. In the Tanubi Chambers, hidden deep within the game, there are a certain mysterious species of Pokemon I always thought was a little scary as a kid while watching the Entei movie, as I like to call it. The Pokemon I'm talking about is of course the unknown. There are many factors that comes into play if you want to take on this shiny hunt. First of all, you need to get the unknown to spawn here in the first place. If you would just go here and start doing encounters, you would be in for a treat, because nothing would happen. Enjoy! In order to get the unknown to spawn here in the first place, you first have to complete the Tanobi Key puzzle. Because of this, many Pokemon fans out there has probably never ever seen a wild normal unknown in their games. Upon completing the puzzle, unknown starts spawning in the Tanobi Chambers, but there's more to it. The shiny odds in these games are 1 in 8,192, right? Yes and no. In this particular case, the shiny odds are actually not 1 in 8k, but varies from 1 in 6,144 to 1 in 9,216, depending on which shiny unknown you are trying to find. Massive shout out to my friend Jake, who has an in-depth video on the unknown in this game. It's really good. The goal of this video is once again to tell you guys about shiny Pokemon that never has been found. In fact, some of these unknown has been found before, but once again there are just 2 examples of unknown in this case that never has been found. And of course, they are both 1% targets. Those 2 unknown are the exclamation point unknown and the question mark unknown, which both lies in the slot of being 1 in 9,216. That means that you in theory would have to do 921,000 random encounters to in theory find one of these 2 1% unknown. The Safari Zone of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it has so much to offer for shiny hunters. A few examples of this is that you can find shiny Pokemon from Hoenn in here by placing blocks and whatnot. Another popular one is the fact that you can try to shiny hunt for the fan favorite shiny Larvitar. Pretty cool. However, at this point, it is a well-known fact that all of these cool shiny Pokemon is huntable in the Safari Zone. But going back to the Larvitar line, obviously a lot of people by now has found the shiny Larvitar here. But what if I told you there is a way to find a wild shiny Pupitar in these games that nobody in the entire world has ever found? In Mount Silver you can find a wild Pupitar, but just to find the normal Pupitar is not something you just normally stumble upon during a playthrough. In fact, this Pupitar has a 5% encounter rate and it's only obtainable on the 3rd floor of Mount Silver. The Pupitar is the only wild Pupitar in these games, and I'm actually surprised no one has ever found it, considering Tyranitar is such a fan favorite. With that being said, if you feel like taking on this time-consuming challenge of trying to find the world's first shiny 5% Pupitar in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I wish you the best of luck. You sure are dedicated. Actually, I'll take that back, because yeah, this Pupitar in Mount Silver is 5% and it requires you to do over 163,000 encounters to reach odds. But this Pupitar is also obtainable to shiny hunt in Pokémon Crystal, where it has a 1% encounter rate. And then we are once again talking about a 1 in about 820,000 random encounters to reach odds. And in theory, you finding 99 shinies before you finding the world's first 1% shiny Pupitar in Pokémon Crystal version. Best of luck, and thank you for watching.